But why were you the only one?
And I wasn't trying to test the system. I was just trying to put some peace in the air because I was like, you know what?
Yet for what reason were you the one to focus on? And I wasn't attempting to test the framework, I was simply attempting to place some harmony in the air. 'Cause I resembled you understand what Sneak Canine's great vocation change has been causing a commotion in the business. See with your own eyes, folks, the once brutal rapper done a total 180 on his public picture over the most recent 15 years. He's gone from being perhaps of the hardest person on the West Coast to the sort of fellow who spends time with Martha Stewart. Yet there are murmurs in the business that such a development has its reasons. And in the event that you ask a few insiders, it surely appears to be something dull and evil constrained Sneak into embracing an entirely different course in this life to get to where I got I needed to invest all that hard energy, that devotion, the battle, the misfortunes, all that I went through. I must be sufficiently able to battle through it throughout the long term. Sneak home slice went through a change in his public picture. Since his presentation, Banger Gin and Juice, dropped in '93, the rapper has been an apparatus in the hip jump game. The man went from the unpleasant roads of Long Ocean Side to global fame. And it's been one amazing ride, yet Sneak's life isn't only one major smoking experience where he gets things done for the sake of entertainment. There are murmurs that his life has been in harm's way. And altogether, not to wind up like Tupac and Big Deal, he needed to surrender his Rhodes picture and rap style. While it's been estimated what truly befell the craftsman, the discussion about potential life risk lingers palpably. All things considered, you may be strolling down the road, and unexpectedly a slug hits you. And you probably won't actually know it, you see. In spite of his ascent to outcome in famous tracks, Sneak's life was not all honors and after parties, as one insider shared. Regardless of how high Sneak climbed, the gravity of the roads would continuously pull him back down. And that was cool. Sneak wouldn't fret, the roads were his reality. He was in no rush to abandon them in spite of his prosperity, and the opportunity to show that he really has a place with the roads showed up soon enough. In 1993, Sneak K9 aka Calvin Bruss was accused of a serious wrongdoing. It occurred after an individual from an opponent group was shot by Sneak's guardian, McKinley Lee aka Mal aka Malik, who shot the shot while in the then 21-year-old rapper vehicle. And the rapper ventured into some serious mud with the entire story, which could have quieted him down a little. I'm interested what was going through your brain at the time that the jury was perusing the decision, yet fortunate Sneak in any event. Being trapped in a legitimate tempest, figured out how to avoid the lawful disasters. Yet what's entrancing is the effect that entire difficulty had on him. He settled on a cognizant choice to join a splendid side. And since quit rapping about cruel subjects like death that made him so exceptionally famous, as the rapper reviewed numerous years after I resembled someone's life, was lost, my life was changed. This is genuine. It was an unadulterated shock to everybody. You see, Sneak K9's gangsta qualifications have never been an uncertainty prior to turning into a key participant in West Coast hoodlum rap. Sneak was a subsidiary of the RAL and 20s Crips and served jail time for the ownership of specific substances. While still a teen, additionally, being endorsed with Suge and Dr. Dre's mark. It seemed like K9 has been in his specialty, yet it was difficult for the rapper to fit the name's requests, beaten consistently. I didn't have the foggiest idea what's in store. I didn't have any idea how to conduct myself. I didn't have any idea acceptable behavior, since I wasn't never in a position like that. And out of nowhere, everything altered with Sneak's perspective to become milder unseen struggles. Inside the name resembled seismic tremors, shaking the name's very establishment shoved night, governed with an iron clench hand, and the poisonous environment made a strain among him. And Sneak, additionally, the data about the severe agreements that fasten the specialists to suges will surface. So no big surprise that Sneak felt as he didn't have a place there any longer, and Knight's crook record just assisted the rapper with moving to one more level of his vocation. After Shug was captured, and condemned to 9 years in jail in 1997. Sneak acknowledged it to be the ideal chance to switch names he endorsed with Master, no restriction records. While Knight was in prison, I let them control everything since I believed them. And I felt like they wouldn't treat me terribly. They put me in the game. Later, the craftsman didn't keep down depicting his experience working under Knight. I was neutralizing Satan, and through the finesse of Gump, I had Need Records set up. An arrangement that was reasonable for me. Sneak later happened to release a diss cheek about Knight, and it was exceptionally conjectured in the music business that Knight put out a hit on Sneak to take his life. Yet look how God transformed you, and gave you such countless endowments when you conclude to make the best decision, yet breaking the chain of his music detainment. Sneak felt that he was unapproachable. At that point, with Suge in prison, he at last got his creative liberty anyway. While this is introduced like the main clarification of the rapper, unexpected vocation changes. There are murmurs that there's something hazier hiding behind the scenes. As one individual remarked, Sneak knows a ton about when Tupac had Chance, and another client added, Snoopy is the greatest snake in hip jump. This fight between Sneak K9 and Suge Knight resembled a dim section in the chronicles of hip bounce history, and a few insiders are saying it was something other than a conflict of inner selves and a ruthless fight for control. It left scars that would everlastingly stamp the inheritances in the rap game. I needn't bother with no conversation. I should have the option to take actions, so I can accommodate my kin. Sneak recollects those death row days like they were yesterday, where he felt like the mark had squashed his soul. As he reviewed his experience, I didn't feel like Sneak K9 at the time they broke me from the rear, chipping away at K9 Dad. Then I won my case. 3 leaves Tupac. Half chance ought to goes to prison. And the mark needs to analyze me all around the same time. Clearly he needed to get away from departure, every one of the possibly risky associations. And with his new mark, he could feel the unavoidable trends during a public broadcast appearance. Sneak even spilled how Expert P in a real sense saved his life. When some of the time you became more intelligent than the typical bear, you got to be aware and comprehend the reason why you here. And I really wanted him as an elder sibling and a tutor to haul me out of that terrible climate. He was going to deliver a collection and name it after his old name, and MC10 was able to pay him $1 million to get it going. Yet Destiny had an alternate arrangement. Expert P, detecting the peril, gave Sneak a $35,000 check and let him know that delivering the collection was a horrendous thought, and he may not reside to the point of seeing that collection delivered. Sneak, who previously realized what it resembles to swim in the vile waters of hip-hop local area, picked not one to disregard a chilling prescience and dropped the plan to deliver his Circle collection years after the fact. He let it out was truly an insane arrangement that would have prompted only mass obliteration. We starving, we harming. And it resembles for us to endure this. Someone got to go out and make something. Yet how about we quick forward to the Sneak we as a whole know today? He's fundamentally a worldwide symbol, a mobile legend by his own doing. The man is something beyond music. He's a business master. He's ascending to the new levels of his vocation, and surprisingly obtained Knight's mark in 2022. It seems to be a bit of some private retribution here. Whenever being abused by the Marks Cove, he figured out how to get away from every one of the risks of the rap world and arise more grounded and more extravagant than any other individual from the name. And it resembles the game that you gave me. They see me doing my thing and doing organizations and marking out and doing various things, yet they don't realize that I got that from you. As his vocation moved on, he even his toes into pop WAP, investigating new melodic spylines and catching a more extensive crowd. Consider it Sneak and Justin Timberlake on signs a track with a deep energy. It probably won't have stirred things up around town of the grass, yet it showed Sneak's availability to move away from the risks of his old world. While certain individuals are calling Sneak K9 a quitter, It seems like each individual is qualified for have a decision the rapper figured out how to develop and grow up, and he immediately understood that the revulsions of hip bounce contention might land him covered 6 feet under new associations going against the norm widened his fan base, and got his status as a regarded and persuasive figure in the music business. 'Cause that is who I'm. Shin Puffy, you understand what I'm talking about. I'm all in the recordings, rapping moving NF. Now we realize Sneak Canine as a definitive limit pusher and an expert of revaluation. Today, he resembles the residing diagram for exchanging an existence of denied substances groups and savagery for a famous status in the business, as the rapper himself referenced, assuming anything is steady. It's that the music business will continuously be changing with his model. Sneak Homie is attempting to show every individual who's battling or being compromised that there's dependably a decision when life